What's up guys, it's Nicole, also known as Nikki Vegan, and today I'm going to show you everything that I eat in a day as a vegan, and this is kind of a weekend edition. So I wanted food that was healthy and easy to make because you don't want to spend your whole day in the kitchen, but I also wanted food that was like decadent and a little bit extra special, you know, weekend type food. So I came up with a breakfast bake recipe. It's a blueberry crumble that is so delicious, and it only takes 10 minutes to make, but it's very, very cozy and perfect for a Sunday or a Saturday, or I mean a Wednesday, let's be honest, but it was really, really good, and I'm excited to share that recipe with you. I also wanted to show you the lunch that I made because it was a 5-minute lunch that day because I utilized meal prep, and I actually filmed the meal prep part of that. So you're gonna get some really great meal prep ideas in this recipe, and also kind of how I rejudged it to make it a little bit different because leftovers can be boring and you don't wanna eat the same thing over and over. So I showed you how I made it and then also how I remade it the next day. So I hope you guys find that helpful. And dinner were these really delicious Green Goddess veggie burgers that were so, so good. I had them with my sister, and we also had some vegan chocolate afterwards, and I'm pretty sure I found my new favorite vegan chocolate, so that was amazing. I can't wait to share all of this with you, so I hope you guys are excited, and let's get started. I decided on this day that I wanted to make a blueberry breakfast crumble because I had a little bit more time in the morning. It was a day off and I wanted to have something a little bit special. So I preheated my oven to 350 degrees and I grabbed a banana, and this is going to be the base of the crumble. This is going to be completely oil-free. It doesn't have any vegan butter or anything like that, and it doesn't have any refined sugar, but it still tastes very decadent and dessert-like without being too sweet, which I think is the perfect indulgent breakfast option for a weekend. So I'm just gonna mash the banana, and then I'm gonna add some quick cooking oats to this, and I'm gonna add a little bit of natural sweetness with some maple syrup, and I'm also going to add some cinnamon, which works so well with banana and oatmeal, and then a pinch of sea salt, which naturally brings out the sweetness, and finish this with some almond butter. Then I'm going to take 2 cups of frozen blueberries and toss them with 1 tablespoon of flour. And what happens when you bake blueberries is that they kind of burst, and all of the juices create this really delicious blueberry sauce that works so well with any type of pie or crumble, but it can be a little bit runny. So the flour will just help naturally kind of thicken it up and make the inside of this crumble kind of taste like the inside of blueberry pie, which I think is so great. But if you wanted to do it without flour, you could just do a couple of tablespoons of blueberry jam. That will also kind of have the same effect because it's going to have the pectin in it, which is going to thicken the juices as well. So then you're just going to transfer this into a baking dish, any type that you like, and then crumble on the cookie streusel, which will be kind of almost like a cookie dough consistency. And you want to break it up so that it's in kind of streusel pieces and pile them on top until all of the blueberries are covered. And I like doing it this way instead of putting it kind of flat just on top, because this way you get lots of different kind of clusters like in granola kind of, but it's a little bit softer and chewier on the inside, and it gets kind of crispy and golden brown on the outside. It's so good. So just keep repeating this process until all of the berries are covered. This is a really great thing to make on a weekend or whenever you have some time off because it takes about 10 minutes to make. As you saw, it's super, super easy. And then you just put it in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. And during this time, you can kind of do whatever you want. It's not like pancakes or waffles where you have to be standing by the stove the whole time. You kind of just make it, pop it in the oven, and go about your cozy morning. So for me, this was watching the view in my comfy sweatshirt, having some coffee, and I snacked on some apple because I knew I wanted to serve this with some apple slices. So lunch on this day was really, really fast and easy because I had some meal prepped leftovers. this is a clip from the day that I made this soup the first time, and I got the recipe from the Flavor Cookbook from Forks Over Knives, and this is a really great cookbook if you want really simple whole food plant-based recipes. And I decided to make this black bean stew, which was super easy. So I just had to basically find the page. I had dog-eared it, as you can see. All of my cookbooks all over my house have tons of like post-it notes and dog ears and little notes in the margins. I love collecting those. So I found that page, and then I just took an onion and 5 cloves of garlic, and I sauteed that with water. And it's great because the book actually tells you to saute with water, which I really like. And then I added some black beans. I'll write out the whole recipe in the description box. I reached out to them and asked them if that was okay, and they said yes. So I just rinsed off the black beans and then added them to the pot along with some bay leaves. You need 3 bay leaves for this, and then 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. Now, the paprika is what really gives this soup a beautiful dark red color and also tons and tons of flavor. I added a teaspoon of salt and some water, and then I just brought this up to a boil. And once it was boiling, I added some frozen butternut squash, and I just warmed this through until it was all the way cooked. Stirred it a couple of times, and then I took out the bay leaves, and I went ahead and mashed this, which isn't part of the recipe, but I really love when soups are really kind of chunky and thick. And because both the squash and the beans have a good amount of natural starch, they will kind of thicken the soup naturally and make it like a stew if you mash it. Now, you can do this in a blender if you want it to be perfectly smooth, but if you're gonna do it with a hand masher like I did, you want to make sure that you're not actually touching the bottom, that you're not scraping anything up, because you don't want to scrape your pot while you're doing this, but just kind of gently mashing it is a really good way of breaking up the larger bits of squash and, kind of breaking up the beans so you have a nice thick soup. I love adding greens to any type of soup or dal or even chili or pasta. It's a really good way for those of you who don't like eating salads to sneak in your greens, because you kind of don't notice it and it really adds a ton of flavor to them, so it makes it a lot more enjoyable. And also with this recipe, something I really loved was that actually the toppings are necessary ingredients. I feel like sometimes we think of toppings as garnish, but in this case, the fresh lime juice and the fresh cilantro are really important, and they add so much flavor. They really kind of brighten and lift all the flavors in this dish, and it is so good. I recommend serving it with a little bit of extra lime with each bowl as well. And if you don't like cilantro, you can of course use parsley. So this makes a lot of soup, so I had lots of leftovers. And back to this day that we're filming the What I Ate Today video on, I had this for lunch. I just reheated it with a couple of handfuls of frozen cauliflower rice from the freezer. Obviously, I just said frozen. And it makes it really thick and hearty. Again, a really great way to get some veggies in. And then I topped it with a little bit more fresh lime juice and some salsa. Really, really fast, took about 5 minutes, and it was so good. I had this with a couple of rice crackers and some of the Trader Joe's cashew fiesta dip. Thank you to everyone who recommended that on Instagram. This is so good. It's basically a cashew and potato vegan cheese spread, and it's delicious, and the flavors work really well with the soup as well. Dinner was my favorite part of the day because I was going to be trying Sunbasket for the first time, which is a meal delivery service. They send a meal box with 3 recipes to your door. And what I like about Sunbasket in particular is that they have vegan options, and those options are sustainably sourced, organic, and non-GMO, which I think is really cool. So I decided to make these California Portobello mushroom burgers. They had a tahini-based sauce, which I thought was really good, and it came with broccoli and then a big salad on the side. So this was the instructions, and I like the little side things, like it has a wine pairing option, it has some little tips if you have your kids helping you in the kitchen, and also some information on the actual ingredients, which I think is kind of fun if you like to nerd out about that kind of stuff like I do. So for these burgers, I just made a quick pickle apple, which sounds a little bit strange, but it's so good. So you just thinly slice some apple, and then you add it to hot water and then the apple cider vinegar that they provide for you. And this is going to kind of quickly pickle the apple, which makes it a little bit softer and has kind of a like tangy, sweet and tangy bite to it. I don't know how to explain it, but you have to try it on your next veggie burger. It's delicious. Then I just sauteed some broccoli, and I also used this time to saute the portobello mushrooms, which were going to be the actual burger, which I liked because I haven't had a kind of good old-fashioned portobello mushroom burger in a really long time, and I forgot how much I liked them. Something that's really unique about Sunbasket is that it has a lot of the sauces prepared for you. So sometimes in meal kits, they will have you make every single thing from scratch, which can be fun. But I like this because it's already pre-made for you, a lot of the stuff. So you're kind of cooking, but you're really assembling, which is perfect for a really busy day. When you come home, you want to make yourself dinner, but you don't want to sit there forever and, kind of make everything every step of the way. All I had to do here was warm up the veggies and assemble the burgers, make a quick salad, and it was done because the sauce was all ready to go. So I toasted up the burger buns that came in the Sunbasket box, and then I added a nice thick layer of the pre-made tahini sauce, which was a green goddess dressing. So good for a veggie burger. I don't know why I never thought to put that on a veggie burger before, but I definitely will be doing it now. And then I add the portobello on top along with some greens. The recipe did say to mix the greens with olive oil, salt, and pepper, but I just didn't feel like it was necessary, so I skipped that step. Do you whenever you're in the kitchen, whatever strikes your fancy, do that. And then I topped it with the apple that I pickled, which was so good, and a little bit more of that dressing. The way that Sunbasket works is it basically ships the food and the recipes directly to your house, and like I said, they're organic, which I really, really appreciate. And all you have to do is you'll just go to the link in the description box, you can sign up, and then you'll just click that you want the vegan option, and then you can pick the meals that you want for the week, which I think is really nice, and then they will be delivered to your house. And on top of having 3 recipes, you also get 3 big salads to go with it. A lot of times in meal delivery boxes, it's not a ton of food, and here you get a huge salad, like a big size salad to have with each meal. And actually on some of the days I ended up breaking this up and having some of the salad for my lunch and then having like a little bit as a side salad with my dinner. So I actually got more than 3 meals in a box, which I thought was great. You get 3 of these big containers of organic girl greens. Well, at least I did in this box. So I got one for a spinach salad, one for a kale Caesar, and one for an Asian rainbow salad. And then it comes with these bags of toppings with a little recipe card, and you kind of just throw it all into a bowl. This was the spicy salad that I made. It was like the Southwestern salad that I made, and I made that to go with these veggie burgers, and me and my sister really liked it, although it was very spicy, so I like that. Sometimes when stuff says spicy, you don't know if it's going to be spicy. It was, and it was really good with the broccoli and with the burgers. Here is a noodle dish that also came in my box. I just thought I would show you. This was a glass noodle dish, and it had these really cool tofu noodles that you kind of stir throughout it as well. And I'd never tried making anything like this before, so I was really, really happy to try something new, and it was really good. If you guys want to try Sunbasket, make sure you check out the description box. You can get 60% off your first box, and I think you guys are really going to love it. After dinner, my sister and I decided to have some chocolate and watch some Friends, and I had these Taza chocolates that I found at Whole Foods. My friend Sarah Marie brought these over recently, and we had like the cinnamon flavor and the chili flavor, but we decided that the vanilla was actually our favorite. And these are a really unique chocolate because you can see from the side here that they kind of have a granular texture, and they're not too sweet. So they're really nice, and they're really good with a cup of tea. But this Divine chocolate is my new favorite vegan chocolate. It is, in my opinion, the perfect chocolate because it kind of tastes a little bit like Nutella. It has a really, really creamy consistency, and I just think it is, not to be cheesy, but it's literally divine. It's so good. So if you haven't tried the Divine chocolates or the Taza chocolates, they're both pretty good. So this was a really cozy way of ending the day. Like I said, we watched Friends, had our chocolate, had some tea, and that was that. So that's everything that I eat in a day. I hope it gave you some good meal ideas, and I would love to know in the comments what your favorite vegan chocolate is. So definitely let me know so I can give it a try. And if you want to try Sunbasket, make sure you check out the description box below for 60% off your first box, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye! What a wonderful